if you feel nga le divang o le fiafi o le fua fa just mai el fulto ya Emele Palamo o le loan market a wale fa wina o le tato polo kalame fa solo fa talavantu Emele malo le ngalui ya malo foi le ono se mai le diva ya se fo le nga tui le di ma sina fo
ya malo sai fo manuia la fionga se mano ya ke ia wa ko a maka vo le si masinga fo ke ia ka me a
yeah, o le tulanga le dai pe o nei ai ya e malo la vale on sai ya e sui la vale masina ya o ka ko la vale ngi kasi ya tono nai te le atu se manuia ina ya ai kiki ma ua maska mo tamas
le ke lo le kusaka ko manguia kusala ka ko me fiapi ya malo le sai fo manuia
ya ma no le fa ma le mai fo ile tanto wa polo kalame ya fi fo le nganga o le wa fa tasi mai le sunga ile li pole o le tutua ya ma le au nanga fo ia le tanto company for Fale o le sunga ya Thomas o ia o le li pole o le tutua ma nanga a le Builders Blueprint New Zealand ya e pe ona masnia i fo i ona tanto filo ia i lunga la vo le polo kalame nei o fa ngoina ole Malu. I fale fa talavantu Thomas malo le ngalue. Ya malo fo ile on se mail tanto polo kala mail ni masino fo.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be on here. It's always a pleasure and always grateful. Lava.
Malo fa tanya Thomas ya tonu na wale vana isauni te fi so sorry mai. Ia tanto mata upu pe ona tati nei le mamea. Thomas tanto tala noa i renovations Antonu Olena e la unga pena e pese i fo i leisi an tanto polo kalame. Ai ta ua le mele e ta ua le wha manatu. O renovations wha mole molea Thomas. Le mo o mi ai le consent le council. Ai o lea fo i se tau. Ia o ia au nanga fo i le lea le pulenga nu o au kilani ni.
Okay, Lava mole facili. With renovations, all the renovations, it depends on size of the renovation. I'll give you an example. Or Fale renovation in West Auckland, one of our projects, and it was valued around just over Salawafi, and the council consent fees, it was about $4,500. So it depends on the renovation size, or the consent fee. So there's not one set fee. It just depends on the project, overall project cost.
Nele, mwen koe fa mo kasi me ale vaenga lea Thomas o lea le me ala na isi i tau. Ia o anta tu ngā luenga ia po le consent fee ale council. Ke le se ngā luenga ale council e fai po le ale mafuanga ale na mawalunga le titi si ngā luenga le titi si ngā luenga.
From Facili, yeah. I can't really comment i le vai ngale council langa if I kele council la ko lang ngalwing isi kaimi. So it's hard to say why council has their council fees, yeah, but e pule a council pule ale fees depending on like admin costs malako internal costs that we don't really know about. For my council e punga menga for my you just say yes and no and you just carry on. So they were the ones that give you the fees. E ale le website for I vaiunga kiki loinga ia kakangaka vangale so they can understand all the different figures, but you just need to be informed in that department. But I can't really say vangale I understand pole me e kamaka council isi game.
Ia pe ia laua konga whasia ka ko campaign fo ile le wha maramara makiri me le mea le ngā lui lunga la tau tau wali Tom sa.
Ka wanga mua mai sira ka Emele sosoangi me ka ko campaign.
Emele o le te mai tau anto nai te soi mai le ni vaenga le fia tono nei a te oisi na maramara maanga I tūlanga le pea.
Ia, whaftai se umanu ia. O ke masalo le kulanga lava e kasi o ke le ke ua ave se sira council le loka. I'm not absolutely sure, but from what I've seen for projects ainga and the customers le comes through my desk. E be o le te le level of costs, it may be a certain percentage. There's no absolutely clear cut for ingale. So Bill Milan from A. Thomas, it really depends on the involvement of, there could be so many different surveyors, there's different admin people, there's different hands I ko kongo within the internal costing of the council determine, like any other business, I suppose. Depend lava po how many hands that goes through the project there would determine the fee. So that would be my limited guess.
Yeah.
Lelik Malu tai olono winga lali Thomas a fai avatu le tonu le tanto application ye po le tanto apply le council fo le mo le consent la se umi te fa talia ya foto amo mele se tali mai o le council fa mo
Tai from Silly again, Pulea Council Laco processing. It ranges between they say Laco website Luas Fuaso 20 working days a process. I say the consent. But in that time, Ikeleya me whaingo RFI or request for information maya council. Mga mia, for example, ele ole misi le detail le plan. Ilunga ole kusiaka, the architect. So it's a lot of time back and forth. If city malawa council. So it ranges between maybe 3 weeks, I lucky 4 weeks. I kelele project, like Emele mentioned as well. The bigger the project, the longer it takes. Like if city they want to confirm from you.
a faila o le telefisili fo ile o le ase se ka ikalawa ia tapena e wale ne fe meanga ilunga le website e sa wo inga se lisio mea e tapena tuai e se ainga fo ile le lo sa ni muselanto renovation ye pe ono maua mai fo se so ni mai la o nanga e wa o ile wa mali ile ainga fo ile le o ile la toi fo ile lanto renovation e se lisi fo ile le inga ya avaku e ale ka ko application o la wa a ko umame.
Yes. So from silly, yeah, there's on the website or council, like council is very clear on the requirements. Council molako paperwork. But to make it easier, more it's better if you let a good company, say like us, we can handle the full process from concept, from free consultation all the way through to concept design, through to drafts, and then all the way through to submitting your application to council. That process there, that's a very, very long process. If you don't know what to do, if I answer questions to council. Now, if you've renovated before, if I fear, it's okay because you understand. But it's better if you get someone that knows what they're doing to handle that process. Trying to answer council's requirements.
O le ale maua lunga o le stress level tangata pe ale malamala mai me e fa me le council I Thomas ngi ki woso se mai fakusis.
Very high, very high stress levels. If I vale tele malamala fainga me council maka uli lau here mai fo mumu. It depends. Like it's a very complicated process if you don't understand what you're doing.
Ei, le te vai tu fo ile le le ne ta wala no mumu ala vai ku le ka ulang efu mai le la wa o fal tu ya Emele. Ya kongo le fe nga ye pe o fal tu ya Emele mai tu lang ai Emele la so fa po ile va nga o tu ile ma tal donga ma le sunga ya Thomas.
Fa sai se manu mol sili. E mana ye tele tu langa le na ta we Thomas o le ta ua le o le a foi o le whaonga ino tangata le specialize le field le o le whai te inga pe o le tūlanga le Thomas wa o la wama san ye la tō po our documents or our requirements or our malava me mana o le council. Yeah, so ave se le stress le le toi mana o mia tātou se stress le nei vai tau and it's the same thing for you when it comes to finance. Yeah, make sure you talk to the right person. Po ye so mortgage broker or I'm happy to help. I tūlanga whapea. Ia na eliminate ai leo o le stress level. Ia whaamalama le po o whea le tūlanga iai. Le afo le umia o afo I mea mana umia. So ia umia ele soifua wa alua I lunga le stress. Ia, nei te ua po soifua ele enjoyinga lo fale. Lo fai fo.
Ke ua fai fa kope le whainga le renovation e fai e iangi koe sao ngi ngau se singi. We ka fe le la lola ngi. Lele Thomas, o ani cost. Ia po ani tau fo I e te tau ona sila fia le manuele tudu. ai le amatalia ia se ngā luenga leo le toi whaafowina ia po le toi soina o se maunta po se lau.
Thank you for the question. I think this is a very important question, Asio Manu, that a lot of our people ele malama process lea. E telo tatangata e whape vangale mawalole le kupe ma le bank whape rai lako thinking ia e whiara ka wal meria. But we ele se aka me whainga wa kua se cost. So o le me mua e whai, we have what we call consultants fees. O le vaenga le au vaenga le au kusiaka. Na vaenga le ngau lingu veske mau mela ko degrees. Vaenga la ngai mua cha ku oi. Vanga le aku le site, for example, e mua whai me ka o le site measure. E aku le architect po se draftsman. E measure umamea umanga kongo lo fale malo property file. Umolole vaenga na, then we have other consultants involved. For example, ole engineer, ole different types of engineer for ele geotech, ele structural engineer. Kele for isi engineer, le kavale engineer, but only the fale engineer involved the process there. And their range as well, lako cost, it's not fixed for it depend on the size o lo project nga o fai so extension kiri extension, how much detail involved in that extension if I made a lako cost. So an example, lako architect can range between anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 for just the kusiaka. Salman engineer, he ranges between $4,000 to $8,000 depending on the engineer firm you go with. Geotech 40 ranges between $4,000 to $6,000, $7,000 or $8,000. So overall, vaingale mua kusiaka, consultants, everyone involved, you're looking upfront cost before we even start building your house between 25 to 35,000 depending on everything that you want. Those are just the upfront costs involved before we even look at building your fale.
O lono winga la o le tau lea e te tau ona tutongi mua e ka kere wha moe fo i le loune le afu. Le foto a muli mai tutongi atu i le ma le tau o nanga li Thomas.
So it depends. Again, that service is or the service there we have a one-stop shop, but everyone that's involved or the mako team. So or the team, our architect and draftsman, that is one of our partners. So it's not necessarily mako le fire that me charging you personally. That's or the charge ngai marikusiaka. And everyone else like engineer and things like that, they're all separate consultants from Builders Blueprint, but we are all working together. Because it takes a big team build falling in New Zealand. I think it's Samoa, it's very different. One team, okay, but in New Zealand there's a lot of regulations, a lot of codes, so we have to follow that process. That's why it's very important. There's already been 3 jobs after I've had this interview where I've gone to they've been given the advice they said, oh, we can do this, we can build that wall, wall there, file a bathroom there, but it's not consented. So now it's going to be an issue for them. And so it's very important that we understand the true cost of renovations up front so that you make an informed decision and you'll be in trouble if you go and sell it, especially when you go to the process with dealing with Emele.
E mawhinga e koe saunga kasi mai a ri Thomas. Na fautua ina nei a ingai. Ngi Samoa?
Yeah, isi for Samoa. So again, it's very sad that for isi builders out there that tell people renovation, and it's very important that sometimes the cheaper you go, there's the reason why you're cheaper because the people involved everything for pretty much for example, if I sell bathroom renovation, if I full bathroom renovation, that's That's a lie. That's not how much those things cost.
Awai, e te tauna i te tonu i mala consent.
Yes, that's right. The council, and I've just mentioned to you before, the council process is depending on the size of your job. So, ke lelo bathroom renovation, for the fee of the council. So, Fale lakusanga for my, I can do your whole bathroom for $10,000. I say council involved. They must sign off. Now that's going to be an issue. Basically, in Henderson that I went and saw, very, very lovely family. They but they didn't understand.
Alongo winga o le whaavalea i ska kanga kau kako kanga kari Thomas.
Yes, but at the same time, it's not just our people too. This is common in the building industry. To our people, especially because because they think, oh yeah, so this will be the best option for me, but not necessarily the best option for you. It could be the same with mortgage brokers. I don't know the Emele's industry, but some people may be cheaper than her, but they don't have the understanding and the knowledge that Emele has, and it's very important that you go to the right person.
What's the effect of this sort of advice on our people? Because now, ole wa cut cost.
Yes.
A lot of winga ele o tutongia pili ele office consent to the council.
Yeah.
Down the road, what happens to the renovation in the whaile ainga? E mawhaina add le cost o le vaenga na i le total cost o le fale po le property.
Yes, Dave was silly. When you do something under the table, under the table works, pe kokongi fo ile cash, there's no what we call a paper trail. Ele mawhainga su e kangaka rea. So, for example, if I didn't kokongi le cash, so there's no guarantee to the work. There's no ele mawhainga su e po whema le builder there, ele se laising o le builder, ele se guarantee o le builder, ele se produce a statement whaingo mako PS3s for the work ele done in the bathroom, ele fo se kusi o se aka. So the repercussions o me wha apea is now we have to now charge twice as much because we have to now get someone to come in koe kusi le aka. We call a certificate of acceptance, and those sort of things take a lot more time, a lot more money, and it'll end up costing you twice as much versus you just paying one time. The first time, and then it will cost you more. So to answer your question, it's just don't do it. Don't go down that road. Don't do something that you know it's going to come back and bite you later on down the track.
Winga, there's no other option for this family. Le aise si awala e mawhaiona toi whaafo I mele tupea si a inga lea. A o le la la wha upopo I malisi kauilung. Ia ona o le kau poelenga whaiela ko ngalue.
That's right. But at the same time, this is the reason why this is the reason why I started my business is to really show our people the real process of construction of renovations, what it actually costs up front. And a lot of the time I've gone and seen our people and they see the cost of things, they think, but these are just the costs involved. This is the real cost, industry costs, real costs. I'm not trying to add extra costs, renovations or anything like that. That's what it is. Council fees, it break down all quotation. So if on the whole process, right from the start to finish, you need to see the whole picture. If I know fear for renovation, when I give you a full detailed breakdown, I call it full detailed breakdown. When I give that breakdown to Emele, it's very easy for Emele to go to the bank, show the bank, here's the quote, here's the money. Because it's very detailed, all quotation. Now, again, I can't comment on Emele's side, but every mortgage broker I've dealt with has always just approved the funds within like a couple of weeks or even a week with our quotation and our breakdown.
Lili Malu whaaptai Thomas Emele tonu ie e au ngā ilo sosori mai fo ile le Whaalau te leina la mta pule wa le wo whaalonga tu nei le saunanga le sunga ia tam. So le talo whai nei ia a inga. E le ia siso tātou e le nau nau fwoi le ia mau se pa uma mau se tau ngō fi. Ia peita iane. O tua antu la o le mea nao le tau ngō fi. Ia whai e le ise li sikia li o le whai ngon mea lenga whai e ngi. Sole. Ia o le ilo la po whela su e le ula le e ui ia o le malama mai loa e le ainga. Ai avantu fwoi le finanga. Ia po le tribunal po se whamsino. Ia pauanga le fsinga i se pepa. Ia e whai a korga o i le ila se mea. O le ale mea ngai i le kapa i se li siki. Ia o le sa fwoi le la lor ka pe kasi a mantum ta. Pula sa soani e me.
Mana ia tele sili se manu mana ia fo le tufa Thomas le nei fiafi. Ona in all my years of working in the banking industry, o feo lolo lava na i tatu tangata. It's sad to see. Ona le pe tulang le mai Thomas, they've gone through the cheaper option. But umana toi o mai le ile bank pe soli. Mai maule mako savings le nga fai le mako renovation le o la walu le builder le umale mato renovation. So it's a kitchen that's not even finished. So per melan for my Thomas, it's now gonna cost you more. O no le la au mai le application avele bank. Wa afa pe se application le au mai avele bank. O longa winga mana o mia mato le builder's contract le for my Thomas. O le o tulanga fa pe afa pe you are using your own funds o la so savings ma me fa pe. O le fautuanga awane tonginga le cash. You need to make sure you see a contract, the Emele Palamo Thomas, which is what we would require from a builder pe afa pe o le submits le tato application in the bank. Ai afa pe o fa fonga mai le mamando le atunu o le fa nga level o savings. Yeah. So to I always say to our people, check the credentials, my history of tangata, the builders, electrician, whatever, whoever they are. Make sure te malama, because at the end of the day, o oila valela at stongin is your hard-earned money. Lela at stong yeling al wengale.
Yeah.
So make sure te malama ile contract.
Yeah.
Pero melan for my Thomas or le mana leo builder's contract le on my to submit the bank because le the schedule of payments for le tulanga how much is this lay out malava pe detail my pe fiele council fees if fiele the flooring or whatever the case is. It's all detail in there mana le malama le ai le amataina le ngalwenga.
O le whanoanoanga tele i te ue me le matama so le mata upule ni. Ona o le ainga le nau fwoi le ia mawasina tau pa u peita ian. Kusa le la a unofo mafofo tie. Ia o le la whaatoluina le pe whaaluaina ngai le whaatoluina le tupe le la toi wha. Ia kalukalua ia kua inga kangakangi. Ia o le kusa a maua kui i le skuri mango o kilangi sola i le skuri mang. A umafode ngā sola kui o. Ai le o ia se salama mafo palasi e ilungo tangatani. Awa a tonu fo ele leo lele i maua kai a si vai. Ai a fai o kou whafonga mai kou sunga ngā po kou a fionga le whaier ko i ngā mio le fia whilini. Tole, se ka no whai a kia ukere lo pe whawhenga mo moengi ka ngakari i Thomas i le po. A o lai whai se tu ai ngā awala fo i lele. E matua i pala. A tonu o lai e se nau ta i ngā e fo i lele fia fsosoan. Ia o na tuatu. O lai ngā ke i loa lele. E iai repercussions o le mele, pe iai le me tu lai mai, pe a o lola o na su e vaenga i e pe o na iai le consent, ia su e pe nga iai se kusiaka, ia a whai o lenga wha mingoi ia paipa o le plumbing, o le makua kele. O le ala futuanga mo i la tau ia ai maise nei o tanto ai ngā wha mo le Thomas.
Famous Silly, that's a very, very good question. The first thing is always follow ia law la kungu. Whatever the laws are for construction, building, council, just follow the rules. Follow the rules and you'll never have any issues in the long run. If it requires consent, get consent. If it requires an exemption, get the exemption. If it requires a minor variation to something, changes made, get the minor variation, make the changes. But everything you need to do, just make sure you have documentation, paper to back it up. Don't just do things because for the short time, because it'll come back and bite you in the long run. So it's very important, especially ngai kako ainga, to mamatina who first generation mai New Zealand, they've been saving for their whole life. Fale 1980 or 1960, however long you bought the house for, and now finally your grandchildren are living in the house and you want to renovate your house. Do the right thing. You've saved for so long. Now do the right thing. E protect the investment ma le legacy o ainga mo le lumanga, rather than thinking short term, think long term ilau investment ilau ainga ma protection of ngai kako makua iwa. They work for so long time working their whole lives for this house, and then all of a sudden one guy comes in and says, hey, it's okay, I can do it for this much, and then all that work you've done just goes down the drain. So just do the right thing.
Lele Malu Tanya Thomas. Yeah, Antonu o le sivaenga lela tanto wo ti. O le tulanga foi le leo unexpected costs. Yeah, mo le fainga o many renovation. Yeah, Antonu lena amata fa mai. Yeah, nga ole bathroom la vole fia tutu. Ai walu nga wenga ke o fa ku markala ale lo mako. Siu ke manga o fui fa fu ko male mukuka io o longa winga o le sai kolosi mai le mea sa le ye ko le plan mo i to tonu o le vaenga le wo o ti le ngal wenga mfeo nei fa mala man ti le tu la ngato.
Yeah, thank you for the question. That's another great question. Very good questions tonight, I think. With the unexpected costs, kako kalangwanga from I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we spoke about budget. So all your decision making if we can fit everything in your budget, then it's okay. Unexpected costs, it's okay because we have a budget we can work to. But whai wo umanga negotiate the budget and then you mangao to an extra kitchen not in your budget, then I strongly advise against that unless you have the funds. Because unexpected costs like that can be managed. You can also ask me for those extra costs in the beginning. The pre-construction. We can put like what we call a sum or a provisional sum aside. So if they do decide file kitchen, kitchen on the extra on the side. If we can call it add-ons. You can click add on. But like I said to a lot of my clients, if I get the middle add on, add on, so just be careful of add-ons or things like that. Another unexpected cost that you could face in renovations is things that we can't see. Again, there is ways of eliminating this, not eliminating, but minimizing these things. If I earlier on the pre-consultants stage, if I consultant, it's called X-ray. X-ray is when you do a building report. It's called infrared scan.
Yeah.
Mga ola give bathroom, especially I recommend this to clients. Bathroom. I always tell them, pay the fix camera. And then put fair areas of Kongolo Fale. Or or weak spots or leaky spots where you might assume a extra cost. And then we can plan ahead and put aside those sums or provisional sums so that we can cover you unexpected cost. So I try my best when I advise our clients that we try and eliminate that completely. When you have unexpected costs, we try our best to eliminate it. Eliminate it from the beginning so that we do everything right from the beginning for the duration of the renovation.
Lele, Malu, tai ia lono winga o lo ke manko fo i le ali tam sa le kala ali ska mukanga fa me le ia le mesa fa ko e fa kasinga kipila pa o sa o
Sa ore rei.
e
Me se
fe o
wha
lo
anima.
e fe o
Me se
lo
wha
ho
anima.
ia ka muka si o sori e le fa pe vo ia ngale ngal fa so lo ku ngo o fa o mara papa fa mru e ia le o le wa tanto ia i le vai tau nei o le tau manu nu ali Thomas o le a le au ngā o mea nei o double glazed windows. Ia ai, o le a fo i sona tāua. Ia ma se kau fo i lele e ono pui pui ai ia a inga. I le vai tau nei o le tau manulu. Ia wai le ngā le manulu e au ngā ia tātou wha malamai. A tonu e au ngā fo i le tau mawhanawha.
Silly. So that's this topic here around double glaze. It's double glazing. It's I think every house should have double glazing, but because of the double glazing is quite expensive, there are much more affordable options. Whaingola mea called retrofitting.
Yeah.
A retrofit yo for malama, which is a little bit cheaper. Depending again, we can give you some recommendations for those as well. But it all comes down to that. In terms of double glazing, it doesn't just work not for malama. It's a system. So to keep your house warm, it's not just the windows, it's your walls or insulation, ilalo, lunga or walls, and also heating system ngai whaonga ko Fale, po se heat pump, po se fireplace, depending and all of these things, mea umaya, they work together to keep your house warm mole winter. So it's not just one thing that's going to keep your house warm, it's a combination of different things.
O lono winga la a wha pia o la hele I whaia la le insulation fo ilele o lano le follow. If you wala le heat pump fo ilele wha ma whanga whanga. Ia ko ngā lua mi nguke a pe fo ia o koe maruru fo.
So that's right. All you're doing is you're just heating up an oven with holes in the wall. So you're trying to heat it up, but all that heat is just going to escape through the walls, through the underfloor, through the ceiling. Insulation. But during these times, there's a lot of requirements now for rental homes.
Yeah.
So you need a heat pump. Minimum, you need a heat pump. You need underfloor insulation, ceiling insulation, and the walls. It is what it is if it's already been built. But those are the requirements Fale during these times now.
Lele, malo sa noa Thomas whautai ia o le antoi tali wantui lau sunga I se teimia leo toi mau e wha mai a maile tātou wha soa. Le nei fo I vaenga o le fia mele. Ia mo renovations lava lātou ia o a ni a inga. Ia mene I o whale tupe. Mo mia fo I le tūlanga leo le unconditional. Pa wale unconditional me leo keilo, o le unconditional love. Ia ai sei sa ngoi iari iemit. Ia po la le wingo le ngā mea o le unconditional I le tātou no ngā tupe le fia whai mel whale tupe.
Ia, whaaftai seu manu. I le tūlanga le tau renovations po le whaale le ina o lo Fale. Wai abele tātou application au mai lea o le, they usually call it a conditional approval. O le a whaapea o le renovations po se Fale o le la a whau. Always has a copy of the builder's contract. That would be one of the main things Emele Bank, Len Sao no ye Thomas. So this is the contract lela afatala noe o tau male builder, whoever you end up using. Yeah, na maile o details o malavale tono le builder's contract. O lesi vaenga, which is most of the time, be ivas fulu percent Emele Bank is a full registered valuation. O no lela a ye improvements o lo Fale. Emele Bank be, is it cost effective or are you over capitalizing on your renovations? Or let's see for ilatu langa le e fautuaina ile mamalu le tunu o whaafonga mai. I want to over capitalizing le tato renovations se whaateta inga. A whaapea o lo mauta le te mina ile value maybe e ono se la wafe.
Yeah.
Au lela e mana o wa mai le tato pre-approval pe lima se la wafe. Lena ave wa usually I work with the client say, I bet tato application for a possible maximum in Apatia, but I will work within that to I want to ifa ina umalea tulanga. O le mela le over capitalize e mawhaia le banga pushback. Pe a au mai le tatou valuation, o le watu i le plan ma le costing of renovations. E a mai le value of your current property plus the cost to renovate. A fa pe fa popo le vaenga le a mai e tasi le miliona. Ai a latu le value lo maota, pa o popo i ai ma plans ma cost uma lea la a fai le renovations. E a mai le valuation a le value a se whaataita inga pe iwa se la wafi. O lea wasiusila la, there's 100,000 difference. I le tiritilo la le bank, you are now overcapitalizing mo le area le iai lo maota. E sa ua tele le sila i nefa pe ina ia make sure wa ala to le value lo mota is based on similar properties around the area. Ina I te wa excited tele pa nga umale look at the maximum pre-approval len au mai, but it's ua tele te mana tunatu you make sure you awale awana I tila te wa over tele tato excited fa nga uma I mai le value le fale, it's not really worth that much because you don't want to overcapitalize and overspend on something that's going to be losing money for you. I hope that's making sense.
Yeah, Lily. Tonu, Thomas, o nei te fia wha popo mai le tanto wha soa le ding ting?
I think Emele covered that perfectly. Ekele for ikakangaka, they get a pre-approval, like Emele mentioned, 500,000. So some of them think, fai man mako fale makwa fai le Ferrari mention. E kakaunga back it up a little bit and look at the valuation of ko area ngake yai, and then make an informed decision. With us, when I come and I talk to a client, I always ask those questions. If how much are you approved for? And then I also discuss ole ala ko budget. And then they say, oh, you look budget there. And I'm like, okay. Because of the area, I suggest pe bakusa advice. Awang e spending le almost flau or le lima salau afi. Maybe we stay within wasalau to 300, depending on what you want to do. And we try and make a good design fit in that budget. Because if you overcapitalize, like Emele mentioned, you're not going to get the value of the property for that particular area. So it's very wise to be careful on what you spend and only spend within your means.
Lele, o lono inga e pia o lau whatikta inga le au mai au e ke kau mawhai e keu lau Toyota I a pia o se Ferrari. Ia wai le kukusa le kau le Ferrari ma le Toyota o le sa au ngā ang.
Yeah, o sa au ngā, best bang on right there.
O longo winga la a whai o le piko ngule anga o Toyota mani san le ia whai fo le renovation ia kukusa mawhoringa o le Toyota po le Nissan. Ai waka ke kango ku oingi mongi meo a fo I spoiler mongi mags fo ia le Ferrari. Ia wa ke fiu ai fa popo mea nga esa wa o le Toyota le mea ke sa wa.
That's right. It has to match the area, it has to match the value, and also match the function or the reason for the renovation. The reason for your renovation is to increase your poku moe, then focus on those areas that you need, increasing the space inside within your house already, or maybe extend a little just to have what you need, and not what you want. Just go for what you need, not what you want. And then focus the design around that, because the more expensive the design, like I mentioned, that the more it's going to cost you. For the exterior or fale, fale for what it is in that area. Try and keep it within the same, keep it simple, keep it affordable. And then for the interior, if I scale a little bit on the interior, myself kitchen mangaya, myself bathroom mangaya, but don't try and overspend glass panels fale outside your house when you don't need it.
Ia wai fiu wai whailmea ngā a sa wale valuation ele ke ia wa lua mare awa milionga ele lima se la wa fea.
It's still within the same range, yeah. That's right.
Ia lele. E jele tā ua le vaenga lea ni Thomas ma Emele. Ia wai pe ia le mana ia le whateita inga le da. E ke fiu e sui le afi o le Toyota. o le kingo au le Toyota ia i lima fai lava no sui ia mai le ima le vin nampo le Toyota i le kai kinga e fai mai oi o le Ferrari la le au le vin nampo le Toyota le me se le meka o le made in Japan se le meka o le made in Italy oi le ma lo fa taimo le fa mala no le tulanga Thomas ia Emele ia tono isi vaenga muli ia tanto wanga ia to the renovation ia po le new build foi le mo se fale fo ia malona fa tinonga o le nonga tupe le via fa ia Emele fa mo
Yeah, whafte se manu. E le tele sona e se senga. I guess o le se senga ona o le renovations o le wa iei le mauta le wa iei te minei.
ia
So o lela iei ona swinga lela iei increase ai le value. Ai pei o le fale fau lela fai, it's o tato documents ma tūlanga lava e ave le bank. It's all the same o tato income, o mea whapena iei fo ila ma le ata lela au mai loa le tato pre-approval ma le bank. I ona su e whaile o sau builder, e whaile tato contract, the same contract level le. The builder's contract. Again, it's the same information and also evaluation. E tila le bank pe match le amount le la spend e tato I lungo le whale. Nga I le value le indicate my based on le market ki le teimi le nei. So it's still the same basic requirements in Manao Miele Bank. It's ua level malama in the process and communication. Ai se facili e ma nei level facili ai le yalu lo sai ni luna e lungo se for the pepa le builder's contract le si for tuanga if you are in doubt in the builder's contract consult your lawyer. O tūlanga whaipe, especially when you're building, dealing with companies, fo inga e te leo malama lelei, if something goes wrong, what are your options? You make sure o lai e se lo ia mawhai ona wha malama inga ni tūlanga e te leo malama atilia, and I'm sure Thomas would recommend that as well.
Yes.
Te ai se mea fia malama ile malu le tunu, don't be afraid to Sili ma ia malama tili.
le link malo fa to sia la usili le Emele o ia responsible ia po le mantafo you ia ia le au mai le o le mele ta o le builders risk insurance.
Mana ia sili so manu. So whenever you are looking at renovations, most of the time, e mana o mia le bank le builders risk insurance. A whapeo se fale fau, yes again, as a builder's risk insurance wa lele tu le fale. O le ainga lava lea e ona le fale, most of the time o lato we're responsible to getting the builder's risk insurance. Sometimes, depending on the building company le whaonga le ainga, they may be able to get the builder's risk insurance, but o le responsibility lava oe as a homeowner, you make sure o le insure. Because if anything happens, o lele uma na po puka kanga the materials or something happens, I le tūlanga le o le uma na fau le fale. Yeah, if you've got no insurance, and the bank will not release funds unless o le valid le kako builder's risk insurance. So o le tali la sili so manu, o tātou lava le ona le mauta, make sure o le lo e tātou o le valid la builder's risk insurance. It's your responsibility.
Yes.
Malo va taia Emele ia tonu a tanto o mai le si ui o le tanto polkalami le vaenga le fiaf. Thomas ai o mai ia le ta numero le telefoni ma wala so ta ia to ile malo le tanto o tudu. O te loa nai fio lolo ngā luenga ia fai i le tau consultation po le filo inga mua ma ainga. Nei so no mai le tasi o tanto polkalami. E mawhaiona nga i antu i lanto. E moli mawina ngā luenga o lo o whaatino le timele. La le mei te futu ina ile malu le te la te whaia le tūla.
Yeah, Taylor of City Seman, I think that's a great question. It's good for people to see as a company that's actually doing the particular work that you're after. So we specialize in renovations. We do new builds and all types of buildings, but we specialize in renovations. a e mga over ice kampangi ulai face renovation, it's best to go be o Fale mele e ko ngaruenga so that you can have proof this company is actually doing what they say they're doing. That's why everyone I talk to, so se ainga tanoa yai, I always say, where do you stay? Okay, I have a renovation happening in your area. Come down and have a look, meet the team, so that you have real people. Ele ongi se tulo robots. La eke kalangoa i lunga fongi, or these are real people. There's a company. We've got a job happening, and also another very important thing to look at as well. O mea whaingoa o reviews. Look at Google review because any mawhainga delete the review of Google, especially with us as well. Go have a look at our reviews. You might call past clients, and if you need as well to have some sort of understanding and you want to talk to any of my past clients, I am not afraid to give you that number after I talk to my past client first to see if it's okay. But it's always good to who's actually doing what they say they're doing, rather than you just taking their word for it. So yes, I think it's very important.
Malu tai mole so mai tame sile ni vainga le fiafi le o lani awala fingo fi e mafai ya ono so te yantu ile malu le tantu tudu I lau sunga I le li pule ya o le tantu company Fale ya po le toi fa wina fo yo monta malao le tantu tudu ya me se ga kai mi finga lu ngi fo video se singa ngir ka se furu wala e singa o manolo
Taila mo silly. I've had that many times. Ingai ka ngaka fo e vidi mai la pa umala utina ala e vidi mai afal valu po, but it's okay. That's part of my service. I always answer the phone when someone calls, so it's okay with that. But if you want to get a hold of me, really in my mobile, ole 021 558 364. Or you can contact me via email, Thomas, THOMAS, K, @buildersblueprint.co.nz. If they love it.
Malu whautai Thomas Emele o mai ia sau nonga mulmuli o na taulunga ile o le tantu soa fo ile ni vaenga o le fiaf.
Yeah, whafte se manu, yeah, mana ia le melena whamai Thomas check out your reviews, why even for us as mortgage advisors, if you want to check out past clients, malako comments be because you will also get negative comments. Yeah, once a negative comment, review. Yeah, you can't go back and Google negative review. Once it's on there, it is on there.
Yeah.
So when what do the past clients say? Manaya for tulanga le Thomas So as be our owner for radio Samoa la tovia, but I never know. Because it's very good for ngale informed tato le mamalu le tunu.
Mali.
And to be aware, po ame and fayona tato so swani ai. We're here to help. Le mamalu le tunu we tulanga fa pe and after tele radio Samoa malawa fiunga fo se manule. 11 no martang o fie.
Malu whautai o la wala suta I to le malu le tunu le fia whainia la tau launa Emele.
Ia whautai le mobile number ole 027 837 8480. Whaifuana email mai emele.palamo@loanmarket.co.nz. Yeah, manuia tele malolonga le fiafi whaftai.
Ha, mo le antulanga whautai Emele ma Thomas I le avado fo o tantu whasoai. A tonu o lewa whaafunga manino lo tantu o tunu. Ele le iale fsili mana mai. Ia tau wha mamau esele au kau poe ngai ke ki ngai. Ia mai te fiu toi tuli, te fiu te tangi, te fiu te tō momu ale ai, se wha maunga le sili siki. Ia lono winga, ia e kuri ka koumare aiku. Ia wai te fiu ke kangi. E le ai ia masi se koe fu ia koe avaku sau se lengi ngā ua umana wha alu. Ia e koe le ima se listalaina. Ia pe wha pe paina. Ia o nā mea uma walu ai lau se. Leni se iau lia la vai aso asau. Ia, on le polkalame o le Malu I Fale I le te au le wha. Ia fiafi o le aso. Lulu mol faletua ia Emele Palamo o le loan market. E te bongo I le olua fitu, valu tolu fitu, valu wha, valu o. Olua fitu, valu tolu fitu, valu wha, valu o. Ia, o le sunga ia Thomas o le Builders Blueprint New Zealand. E te bongo I le olua tasi. lima valu tolu ona wha. O lua tasi lima valu tolu ona wha. Se ia ulia lawa ia so a sau le lofa. Ia malanga le lei o le tampa au sili lunga o le tolunga na o le tātou polgalame o le Malu i Fale.